Good morning and welcome to this weekly update brought to you by Treasury One ETM Analytics. With me today is Andre Sillier, currency strategist at Treasury One. Andre, we probably need to start off this week again, sounding like a broken record player, talking about what's happening in the Middle East because it's still topical. It's still headlines that's being made, although the sort of the geopolitical risk that we've seen is a little bit lower, but what happens in the oil market, what happens in the rest of the world and how it's perceived is still being driven between what happens between Iran and the US and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. So we've seen a lot of negotiations happening, Pakistan trying to facilitate it. President Trump yesterday on his Truth Social said he doesn't need to get a deal done urgently. There's still a ceasefire in place for the next 60 days that they're going to extend. What do you make of the whole situation and the opening of the Strait of Hormuz at this stage?
Richard, yes. I think everybody makes comments and delivers their comments and to try and increase their strength and their stature in the negotiations. And that's where tweets on the Truth platform comes from. The information that I have says that the sticky point remains the nuclear discussion. Iran says we'll talk about the nuclear, but we will talk about that 60 days after we've sorted out and ended the war for good and opened the Strait of Hormuz and sorted out the taxes and the levies and the whatever you want to sort out. But 60 days after we've done all of that, then we can sit down and talk about nuclear. So they are making advances in getting to a point of finality. Oil prices tells me that, markets tells me that, and that means that the geopolitical risk is subsiding somewhat in that area for as long as they're not currently shooting at each other and at least sitting around tables or sending notes to each other in discussion in trying to solve this.
Yes, together with that, we had inflation in South Africa coming out at 4% this week. The Strait of Hormuz it's caused the terms of trade in South Africa to jump. That's part and parcel of why inflation jumped. We have Mr. Kganyago coming out with the MPC statement on Thursday this week, which is in 2 days' time. And the market is fully pricing in a 25 basis point hike in interest rates this year, with the market also pricing a further 3 interest rate hikes in the coming year. Are you on the same bandwagon? Are we going to see a hike on Thursday, or do you think you'll maybe let it go until July and to see if there's any secondary rounds of effect in inflation?
Richard, yes. Let's just for a moment step back to Friday. Friday delivered a little bit of good news for South Africa. That little bit of good news was the change of Moody in terms of our rating outlook. They didn't change the credit rating. They changed the outlook from stable to positive. Now that in every sense is positive. That would definitely bring into account the strong hand that is on monetary policy by Mr. Kganyago, but also the very strong hand on the fiscal side of Mr. Kganyago, of Mr. Godongwana. Now, Mr. Godongwana, let's start with him. He gave us a little bit of leeway when this whole war erupted and pushed oil prices higher and came out and said, I will give you some relief on fuel levies on a temporary basis. Now, if you look at the oil prices now and you look at the rand now, then we are in a slight over-recovery on the petrol price and a more substantial over-recovery on the diesel price. But at the end of this month, Mr. Godongwana said that I'm going to take some of my money back and I will reintroduce the levies. I will do it on a 50% basis, not all in one go. Now, on the fuel price, if he recovers his levy, then we will have an increase in the fuel price, negative for Mr. Kganyago in terms of inflation. if Mr. Godongwana takes only 50% of the fuel levy back on his diesel price, a reasonable decline in the diesel price. If he takes everything back, still a small decline at this point in time in the diesel price. So neutral for Mr. Kganyago. So go back to Mr. Kganyago. He's not going to get really good news out of the fuel price that stops inflation. This fact that the situation in the Middle East is not solved and oil prices being lower is not the whole situation positively changed, because there's a heck of a lot of other products that needs to come through that strait. So it still places pressures on the world economy, world monetary policies, and including South Africa. So you could still have pressure on inflation because of that. Shortly after this, in the beginning of July, you get the increases of rates and taxes, electricity prices, and so forth, administered prices that comes through, especially from council side. Once again, a negative effect on inflation. So I am 75% there that Mr. Kganyago would want to savor his extremely good position that he holds with rating agencies as a strong hand on monetary policy. So 75% chance that he will increase by 25 basis points. I am more optimistic about the solving of the crisis in the Middle East over the next month or so. And that would simply mean that if ships can move freely through the Strait of Hormuz and oil comes down even further, then that could halt the increases in inflation, and it might maybe not be necessary for 3 other increases as the market is expecting. So I'm not all that negative.
Andre, we'll need to watch it carefully to see what happens, and I think the speech afterwards and the questions that he'll get will be indicating about how hawkish he will be looking at inflation and secondary around flex. Very nicely, fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz as well, and with planting season up and fertilizer prices probably going to rise, it can put pressure on food inflation down the line as well. But we'll see whether that needs to happen. At the moment, if we're looking at our local currency, it looks like the currency is turning as if a deal will be signed imminently. We're turning stronger. We're still in your band of 16.25 to 16.75. Are you still happy with that band currently for the currency?
Yeah, Richard, just a slight step back. You mentioned fertilizer and so forth and food inflation. I'm more concerned about food inflation going forward because of the extreme bad weather conditions that we've had. If you walk into some of the shops and you look at the fresh produce that you find on shelves and you look at the prices, you already see a fairly steep increase, but more so you're also seeing some products not even being on the shelves at this point in time. 16.25, 16.75 the rand. Only thing that happened since we spoke last week is that we are moving closer to the 16.25, and that's simply because we've seen oil prices dropping below 100, and that's because of the world saying to us, everybody saying to us that the discussions seems to be more positive and we seem to be moving closer to a solution rather than an increase in conflict. So that's the only thing. But the 16.25, 16.75 still intact for me. I'm still not changing that. 16.75, we look for shelter because more missiles and bombs are being thrown. And 16.25, we have a glass of champagne because we've agreed and signed an agreement to stop this war, and ships are actually coming through the Strait of Hormuz more freely.
Andre, I say thank you for your time. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the week out there.